It's so weird without the extra dings.
I know.
I'm used to hearing more dingers in this conversation.
Yeah, there's usually dings and some penises and maybe even an odd fuck you.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to 4-Player Co-op. I'm Gladys, and with me as always are Cryptic Panther
Hey, everybody.
and nobody else. So, just the two of us for this episode. We're on an off week for the normal podcast, and in an effort to continuously provide news and updates, we've decided to occasionally do an extra podcast here and there. So, our normal routine is every 2 weeks. We try to get the podcast out, so occasionally there will be periods where we do an extra podcast in between. So this will be one of the weekly updates here, and actually our first one. So it's just Panther and me here. And this episode we'll be talking about a few rumors, some updates for Battlefield 1 and Battlefront 2. They're almost too similar now, title and in lack of content.
You keep saying Battlefield and Battlefront. You don't know what you're talking about anymore.
Because they're both pretty and shallow. I mean, it's easy to confuse them. And we'll also be talking about how BioWare is reportedly scaling down after the backlash from Mass Effect Andromeda. Up first, we're going to go ahead and hit a leak for Assassin's Creed. So, Panther, take it away.
Right. So there was a screenshot. There's a Reddit post. We'll just start with that about Assassin's Creed Origins been leaked. So there's a couple screenshots. I mean, one of them stated it was from about 2 months ago. I mean, I'm going to link the Reddit post actually in the description, so you can take a look at the screenshots yourselves. It was leaked from 2 months ago, but there's really not much in that screenshot to even, basically say for sure it's an Assassin's Creed game. It does look a little Assassin's Creed. You can tell it's an early development photo. And the second one that's released, actually, you can, it does look more Assassin's Creed. People are looking at it, and I mean, we look at the picture. We'll talk about it here. It shows the protagonist on a boat. And right off the bat, I guess a bunch of people in the comments were going on thinking that it was going to be like another boat style game, like you've done in the way in 4 and in Rogue, where you were on a boat quite a bit. It just looks like it's a transport boat. Like one of the Assassin's Creeds, I think it might have been 3. One of them you could jump on a boat and kind of fast travel with it, or you could actually, I don't know, watch the boat driving, or sailing, I should say. I don't like how boat driving. You're sailing a fucking boat. They got no motor on it. So what it is with the Origins, I do believe it from the information that's been leaked. The game is smaller segments that take place in different times. The setting isn't the same. The setting is the same through. Wait now, how did you word that? Yeah.
Okay, so game has smaller segments that take place in different times, but the setting is the same.
The same though. Right.
Yes.
So it's like how the other Assassin's Creeds have been, but I think when you go back in as the assassin, you're going to be playing through different periods of time to build more story. I think what it is.
You think that's in a way how they kind of fleshed out the Assassin's Creed 2 story between a few different games in different time periods?
Right, and I think what maybe they're doing is trying to quicken the end game to the series, maybe. Because there's also going to be the modern day, because every time you play the Assassin's Creed game, and I'll be honest, I skipped the last 2, unfortunately. I just was playing other things and never get a chance to pick them up and get into playing them. So I missed the last 2, which is going to be hard to maybe keep up with the story. I might have to pick them up on cheap and play through them. But I did like the Assassin's Creed game. Black Flag got a little too repetitive for me. I tried to go back and play it a little while ago, pick it up and try to finish it, but I just found it was the same thing over and over and over, and it was a little too repetitive. So I'm hoping with the newer Assassin's Creeds, they kind of mix up a lot better. I prefer a game with the different time periods, because then it gives you a chance to experience different things and to speed the progression of the game up. Like when did Assassin's Creed 1 start? What year was that? Like in the 1500s?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I mean, like
1300s, 14, somewhere.
Yeah, so it slowly progressed. When you play back as the assassin, it's probably progressing through time and telling the story, which is pretty cool. But how many Assassin's Creeds are going to be before they finally get to to the end game. So I'm wondering
Yeah,
if
I voluntarily didn't play the last couple ones. You said you couldn't make it, unfortunately, but I stopped playing.
well, yeah, well, I say unfortunately because I mean, there was some bad issues with them when they first came out with their patch, and people said they were good games. I just, like I said, Black Flag kind of got repetitive. I stopped playing it, and when I went back, I found it was the same thing. It got repetitive for me again. So it's just like, well, I just can't. It's not holding my attention anymore. So I stopped playing it. And that's probably what also kept me from trying to get the other Assassin's Creed, last two Assassin's Creeds, and playing them is Black Flag repetitives kind of turned me off of it. But I'm interested to see where the story goes, because I did play the first four, and I did like them for like the first three I really liked, and the fourth one I said after it got repetitive. But they don't have a lot of details on story yet, other than the fact you play through different time zones and the modern day setting, which is returning. So take a look at the screenshots. I'm hoping there's going to be, I shouldn't say hope, but I imagine there's going to be something at E3. If there's probably not, I'd be really shocked if they didn't have something, even just a teaser trailer, land at E3.
Well, hopefully, with the increased development time, because after the last Assassin's Creed that they did, they confirmed that it was not going to be a yearly release anymore, and that they were going to take more time to develop more features and flesh out the story and all that. So hopefully, this will be the first game that we've seen that put into effect. Hopefully, the extra time will have improved it enough.
Well, like I said, it should. The extra time and and not being a year release, it's like, well, geez, I just played the last Assassin's Creed. I'll play another one. Like, it's good. It's a good game, but do I really want to play one every fucking year? So this is not Call of Duty. It's Assassin's Creed. So hopefully, UB will learn from their mistakes and flesh the game out a lot better than they did. And as of right now, Ubisoft is denying this is being actually any true information. They're not coming out and saying, yeah, this is an unfortunate leaked photo. But I still say, in today's world, really, what is an actual leak anymore?
Yeah, most of it is officially unofficial.
Yeah. They're like, oh, well, there hasn't been any talk about Assassin's Creed online for about 3 or 4 months now. Let's take this picture with this fucking potato phone we got here in the office, and we'll send it out to every news organization until someone decides that it's legitimate enough to post.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's been leaked on purpose, but I mean, this looks like a screenshot off, like the picture looks like a screenshot off a monitor. And the game, I mean, someone in the office would leak a photo from their, like, that's risky.
Yeah, it is, but I mean, we've seen that happen before, so
I don't know, worth your job to leak a photo.
Yeah, I don't know. They wouldn't confirm it anyways, even if it is entirely accurate. They wouldn't say, "Oh yeah, you got us."
Yeah, we've been officially unofficially leaking stuff like every year. Yeah. But still, like I said, there's some legitimate behind it because of the image that has been released so far. So, rumor, leak, fake leak. I don't know what you want to call it.
We'll see. Could be confirmed. We'll see.
Yeah, E3 is in June, so got a long time to wait for that. So
I imagine even if this is incorrect, that we'll get some type of Assassin's Creed announcement or tease or something.
Yeah, well, Ubisoft is their own presser, so if they're not, then I'd be really shocked after this information is leaked. And like I said, one of those screenshots is from over 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So that's definitely enough time for them to chuck together some type of a trailer.
Yep.
With the quotations at the bottom, in-game footage.
Yeah, in-game footage, always. Not pre-rendered, just in-game.
I don't know why they still say cutscenes.
I don't know. All right, so we're going to move on to the next one here. This was another rumor of apparently what was thought to be a leaked Red Dead Redemption 2 screenshot, and it has since been debunked. It is actually not Red Dead Redemption 2. It is a competitor, I guess, to the series. It's a new IP. It's called Wild West Online, and it is a Red Dead-like MMO built from the ground up for PC. So this is, as far as I can tell from this article that we've got, this announcement, it's PC only. This was put up 3 days ago on PC Gamer. So it's going to be some type of open world PvP MMO, very, very similar in look and probably in play style to Red Dead Redemption Online multiplayer. It says it won't be the typical type of routine like questing and grinding levels, but a seamless open world where several hundred players will coexist together or die trying. From this article, that sounds pretty ambitious.
Definitely.
The screenshots look pretty, so it's definitely got some good work and development into it. Now, the charm of Red Dead and the old feel of the Wild West that so many people fell in love with is going to be extremely hard to replicate. And even if they do, they might get cried foul because it might just feel like a carbon copy of Red Dead Redemption. Honestly, when Red Dead Redemption came out, and even since, it's been hailed, and rightly so, I think, as a masterpiece from Rockstar. It really is. It's truly one of the defining games of our generation. And I don't know. I mean, to do a completely new series that does the exact same thing, they really better bring it because they're competing with Rockstar.
Well, that's the thing too, and we don't have a release date on this, do we? I'm reading
No.
through the article. I don't see, and I know it was a Kickstarter originally.
Yes.
Creators of Wellness only expect to launch a $200,000 Kickstarter at the end of the month to stretch goals. So they're still looking for backing. I take it from that comment.
Yes, as far as I can tell, the Kickstarter hasn't started yet. I don't think so, but they've talked about when the Kickstarter does officially start. They've got different goals to try to meet, and at a certain amount of dollars, certain things will happen. One kind of questionable goal, a stretch goal they call it, is that if they raise $400,000 on their Kickstarter, they will include women as playable characters. Kind of, yeah, they're questionable. That's in my head. As soon as I read that, I was like, really? A little bit of a head scratcher on that one.
Cost $400,000 for digital tits, I guess.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of strange. MMOs as a group of games are usually extremely customizable, and there's a ton of things you can do. And I don't know. I mean, in this day and age, especially now more than ever, women are more and more and more accepted as being, equal to men, and the whole equality thing is as mainstream as it's ever been. For most people, not even a thought anymore.
Right, I kind of get it. Kind of gets beat to death at a time, the whole equality thing, and I mean, if I know, like in Battlefield 1, they don't have women soldiers because they it's not a simulator, but it's somewhat realistic that there was no women soldiers.
Yeah.
In a majority of World War I, there was some stories of some women that portrayed themselves as men and fought in the war. There's lots of those stories, and I got no problem with women in games, but I mean, if it's going to be a game based on some type of historical information, then if there's no women, I don't have a problem. The same thing if there was no men doing that certain thing, and it was all women, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
But in most games, I mean, it's not just some guys like playing with female characters. I don't know. I mean, make a difference to me what sex your character is. Some people makes a difference too. But to add a stretch goal to say, if we have $400,000, we'll put women in this, it's kind of odd.
Yeah, it's just I think really kind of outside the norm for games. Games are usually one of the most accessible forms of entertainment or people reaching out to live out different lifestyles or make different choices. That, like, a lot of people play RPGs and they play in a way that they wish they could do. And a lot of those people will make a character exactly like themselves, but there's a lot of people that really bring their imagination to it, or they really put their best foot forward and say, this is who I ideally would like to be. And I don't know, it just like I don't think it's a stretch to say that there is at least a portion of the player base that are going to be females that are playing this, and to where they can't even identify. Like, I'm not even gonna go for the easy bait of making a gender identity joke, but Yeah, to where you couldn't even play as a woman if you are a female gamer that bought this. I don't know. It kind of feels like a slap in the face that
Well,
they say you can only play as a woman after we get this much amount of
well,
money.
I mean, like the column, a couple of the things here it says, but no gameplay footage available yet. There's definitely some
Right.
room for skepticism, and with pointing at some of the game's more original ideas are locked behind stretch goals. For example, if the Wild West online raises 1.75 million, 612 games will add train robberies as part of season one update.
Yeah.
And then, like, we'll go back to the gender equality. It says it's puzzling to have gender equality locked behind a stretch goal,
Yep.
especially after Ubisoft's excuses for not why no playable women were in Assassin's Creed Unity. Speaking of Assassin's Creed, when I brought up the particular stretch goal with the team, they said they were already aware that it's a sensitive issue, but doing it properly was simply beyond their resources at the time. I don't understand that resources if they're making, unless they're doing all motion capture for their characters and none of the men wanted to wear a bra.
Even so, it's just getting a woman to put on the same equipment. It's not a matter of resources as far as I can tell. It's a choice in development.
So
when you build a character from the ground up, you decide whether it's going to be a man or a woman, and then you design it. I mean, that's not a resource as far as I can tell.
Unless they're talking resource for the storytelling aspect of the MMO, like why is woman gunslinger? Like I don't know how they're.
I mean, I could, if you give me 10 minutes and a scratch pad with paper, I could write out 10 like extremely different women characters or male characters. It just pick any personality and it could work for either gender.
I'm not defending them. I'm just saying. Well, there's
I know.
There's something. There's got to be. Like I said, it's I don't know. They're already off the goal, saying, "Oh well, we'll give you more content if you give us more money."
Yeah, that's
Christ.
also.
Are they owned by EA? Is this is 612 Games owned by EA? We don't know it.
No.
They're trying to take on Rockstar? So yeah, I mean, like that screenshot. When I seen the screenshot too, all of it, I was like, oh, it's I mean, it kind of looks like it could be Red Dead. I'm gonna link the screenshot and the article in the description so you can look at them both. But yeah, I can tell it's
when in the article. Look at the very very bottom picture. That kind of looks like John Marston, a little bit.
Yep.
So kind of in shadow there, but I stopped for a moment when I saw that.
Are they stealing? are they stealing Red Dead Redemption stuff and upgrading?
No, that wouldn't be in their resources.
Oh, they didn't reach that stretch goal.
I don't know, but either way, we're kind of getting into the drama behind some curious choices of them. But the game itself does look ambitious. Some of the things that they've got, such as train robberies and all that stuff that they said if they hit certain amount of dollars, 1.75 million actually, as part of a season 1 update, meaning that for me in between the lines is that if they don't raise 1.7 million, that it's not going to be part of season 1 as they've stated, but it could possibly come in the future. Either way, it's I think something to look out for. It's on the radar, but for me it's not the loudest ping that I'm hearing. It sounds interesting, it looks interesting, but the idea of it being an MMO kind of turns me off depending on how they do it. I don't know. It's something to check out. I'll keep an eye on it. But
and it says too, with 2 Wild West open world shooters dropping in 2017, sounds like a problem for PC gamers to have. So
as of now, there's no confirmation from Rockstar that Red Dead 2 is going to be on PC.
I thought there was.
No. The second to last article, underlined in red, says confirmed for PC. That's in that sentence. Rockstar's sequel still hasn't been confirmed for PC.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it is as the article says. It's pretty hard to imagine that they'd skip it, considering the massive success of GTA 5 on PC.
Definitely.
So yeah, I'm assuming that they're going to develop it for PC as well. It may come at a later date. I'm not sure, but you got to imagine that at some point it's coming.
Oh, for sure. It'd be crazy not to.
Yeah.
Too much revenue.
Yep. So that is the false leak for Red Dead 2, actually an entirely different game and possibly sexist.
I wonder what people at Rockstar, when they see those screenshots, they're like,
they're probably cracking up.
That ain't our fucking game. Game looks better than that.
It really does too. It does.
Shit.
All right, so our next another rumor. Man, we got rumors all over this place. Rumor has it. Panther talked to us about Far Cry 5.
So, Far Cry 5 will be a Western game. What?
Western?
Jesus.
Where have we heard that before?
I don't know. There's some other game supposedly coming out that's going to be Western. Jesus, what is with this? So, another Reddit
the new
post.
World War II.
Yeah, that's going to be at the next. This current gen console is now going to be the fucking Wild Wild West. So it looks like the next Far Cry game will be a Western game. So there's a lot of stuff here on this actually.
Yeah, they make a really good case in this article.
They do. Like there's a live action trailer being filmed in Montana by the same director that made the Far Cry Primal live action trailers. And there's links to stories. We're not going to get into reading them because we'd be here all night. There's like 6 of them. Or five stories, but there's 6 points. They said there's an established franchise releasing this September. Rockstar do not do live action trailers, which is true. I don't believe they've ever done a live action trailer that I can remember for anything. In 2015,
well, hold on one second.
What?
This is a curious note for me. It says Rockstar doesn't do live action trailers.
right?
Far Cry 5 or Far Cry is not done by Rockstar.
No, but they're saying that this is an established franchise releasing in September.
But who's they though? Because they're not talking about Rockstar. Ubisoft does Far Cry.
No, right? No, right. But the director that done the Far Cry Primal live action trailer is shooting a live action trailer for a Western in Montana, and it's an established franchise.
Okay, I got you. So
yeah,
they, as in the people that are shooting the live action trailer.
Right. And they said that they were shooting this.
Gotcha.
Right. And Rockstar doesn't do live action trailers, so they know it's not Rockstar.
So we know it's not Red Dead.
Right. So that's right. And in 2015, Ubisoft interviewed Montana residents for an upcoming video game. They asked a bunch of questions about. I'm going to open this article right quick because there was a couple points in here. They were asking about like just the area and like history and anything about like the state. So there's talk that it's possibly one of the locations for Far Cry. It could be in Montana because Montana is kind of a Western setting, which would work for just about any state you could say from that in that time period. So, yeah. But if they're going to do anything based off the actual state, then they were gathering information. The next thing is Ubisoft ran, in 2015, they ran a survey with the Western scene being an option. And again, like it's all Ubisoft, it's Far Cry, and they're asking questions, and Western being on there was highly popular on the survey. Ubisoft have surveys with Assassin's Creed settings in American Revolution and Unity. They were popular as well. So based off the information they've gathered from fans, they've decided to push for Western. So with this, interviewing people in Montana, doing filming in Montana, definitely leads towards, a Western style Far Cry.
Yeah, and that particular article, point number 4, about them polling the public on future Far Cry settings, it's very important to me, at least, that you mention very briefly that they have a history of actually implementing after their surveys. The very bottom of this article says, back in 2010, Ubisoft quizzed fans on various features that would eventually be found in Assassin's Creed Revelations, but they polled it a year ahead of the game coming out. So they asked people, they responded, and then a year later, the game comes out with those features. Right. So there's one point in favor.
Right.
In 2011, a survey on future Assassin's Creed settings included the American Revolution, and shortly afterwards they announced Assassin's Creed 3.
Which was an awesome game.
Yeah. 2012 saw Ubisoft poll the public on the implementation of co-op, which was then added to the series the following year for Assassin's Creed Unity. So if they're polling about it, they're very serious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they really look at the feedback and community opinion. So definitely, like, from what we're seeing and reading in these articles, and then it says, the island with lost picture mistaken for a teaser for a future game was confirmed by Ubisoft PR simply as a throwback. I always wanted to mention this the last podcast was the kind of like, well, they come out and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, they fucking started posting Far Cry 3 pictures It's
Yeah.
like and then and it waited like 2 or 3 days or 2 days I think it was from them being pressured by Game Informer. I think IGN might have an article too. I didn't have it linked here because we weren't talking about this particular link or the leak or the images from 2 weeks ago. But it was like, wow, they come out and they do this. Oh, look, here's a picture of Boss. Here's a picture of the island Far Cry 3. It's like people were like, oh, are they gonna do like a prequel? Or it's like we can't really do a sequel because if it's a spoiler, I mean, like what happened at the end of Far Cry 3. But the whole thing was, well, what are you gonna do, like a remaster? Like there was this whole big speculation, and all it was a throwback. Well, to me, it was kind of like, well, they done it just to stir up Far Cry again because Primal I don't think done very well for them. I think it was too big of a change in the Far Cry world, and plus a lot of people
I
were.
thought it was a good game, but yeah, it was very different.
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't play it. I was interested in it. I just never picked it up. I watched some gameplay trailers and stuff. Watched a few people play it on YouTube, and I thought it was pretty cool, pretty fun game. I thought if it ever comes up cheap enough, I'll grab it. But it just kind of got lost in the shuffle of the other games that are sitting on my shelf that I still haven't fucking played. So I just never played it. But like I said, it was kind of like, oh, why are they doing this? Because Far Cry 3 was a big game for them. Like
Yep.
Voss was an amazing character. Like I mean, everyone just fucking loved him. He was one of the best villains in a long time that we've in especially in the Far Cry series. But in any game overall, he's one of the best villains we had in a long time.
Yeah, I would say he's definitely the most iconic. Like he's the face of Far Cry as a
Yeah,
franchise now.
exactly.
Yeah, when people think of it, they think of Boss.
Yeah, so like them leaking that definitely would raise awareness for the Far Cry series again. Maybe this being a numbered version will kind of make Far Cry Primal will kind of be, oh well, it's the ugly stepchild.
Offshoot, yeah.
Yeah, like it's not like that wasn't really us. This isn't really the Far Cry game that everyone. This is they're gonna go back to the roots with a full on Far Cry, the style that we're used to with guns and craziness. So, yeah, I'm psyched to see what it is. I love the Far Cry games.
Yeah.
3 I've played. 4, like I had fun playing those games. Like I said, I didn't play Primal, but I had fun playing them. I thought they were great fun. Like it's, even with the multiplayer they included, so you go out and play with your buddy and just blow shit up, like run around the open world and blow trucks and shit up all the time. It was fun. So I'm definitely looking to see what they're gonna do with the Western settings. So it looks like, I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be competition for Rockstar because, I mean, fuck, it's Rockstar of all people. But if this releases in September and Red Dead doesn't release until October.
Yeah,
So,
they might just have enough time to get a pretty good.
yeah, I mean, depending on what this game has potential to be. I mean, I don't think Rockstar would be too worried about it. I mean, it's Red Dead.
No.
I mean, it's an iconic fucking game. There's people will be buying it because it's Rockstar and because it's Red Dead. But yeah, they're not going to lose sales over it. I don't think Rockstar would be too worried about it. But it also could help Rockstar in a way because people who play Far Cry, people will play Far Cry because they like Far Cry. Like myself, I'd definitely be interested in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already interested in Red Dead. I mean, I haven't pre-ordered the fucking thing yet, but I could see this being, oh well, I played Far Cry 5 and it was Western. Oh, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a Western. I had a great blast in Far Cry 5. Let me play this one too. So I don't think it's gonna hurt. Competition is great, and I mean Ubisoft is usually a pretty smart developer.
Yeah, the implementation of the games are usually shit, but they usually have good ideas.
I mean, they've made some mistakes, but they've learned from their mistakes. And I mean, they do patch and improve things if things release a rocky. Like they do, they do take care of their games. They don't just say, "Oh, here's a piece of shit. We got your money. We're gonna forget you ever existed."
Yeah.
They made mistakes and they bowed up to them and they fixed them. So I'm not really worried about that because I have some faith in Ubisoft to take care of mistakes they've made because they've done it in the past. So yeah, I'm interested. I mean, we don't have any real other information other than a lot of rumor and hearsay and people shooting trailers and polling users and questioning people in Montana. Take that for what you will.
Yeah. So we'll see. We could have a very, very Western holiday.
We very could be. Could be a lot of cowboy hats under the Christmas tree.
All right. So next subject, we're going to move on to the Steam Summer Sale. The dates usually around the same time period, but they have been released and confirmed. The 2017 Steam Summer Sale runs from June 22nd to July 5th. So you got a long time to get in on the sale. There's going to be a whole lot of flash sales, I'm sure. Steam sales is always a good time to pick up stuff. They usually have really, really good deals on all the sales that they do, but the summer sale is a really, really big one. So for any of you PC gamers out there, I know I'm probably going to pick up a few games, but this is definitely going to be a good time if you have a PC capable of playing some stuff to go ahead and throw down a couple bucks and get some new stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's right after E3 as well.
Yep.
Because so it definitely the game hype train runs hard around E3 and after E3 for quite a while. So it's smart for them to do a sale right after E3.
Yeah.
It definitely.
Yeah, there's
definitely.
a lot of gaming buzz going on and people interested in different products and projects and different games or expansions to other games or whatever. Everything that they announce is there's a lot of buzz. The gaming community is extremely active around E3. So yeah, like you said, it's a great time to put a sale up.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move. Like, I mean, and it gives you time to save your dollars and cents to buy the 300 games you'll never play.
Yeah. Yeah, just fill that Steam library with filler.
That it's like it's a collection thing. Oh, I have 355 games in the Steam library. How many have played? 4.
Yeah, pretty much. I have a category of games on my Steam library because you can put them in different categories to split them up, and I actually have one that's titled crap, and I have it permanently minimized so that I don't have to see it in my library.
Crap I bought and I'll never play.
Either that or just poor games. I got for like a couple bucks to try out, and no, they're so bad.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, summer sale is gonna be happening coming up sooner rather than later. Save a couple bucks, put them aside, and pick up some new content.
There you go.
Yep. Moving on, Panther, tell us about BioWare and some trouble with the Mass Effect series.
Well, so the title says sources. I don't know who the sources are.
I think it says 4 sources in there, actually.
Does it say 4? Well, the title says sources.
Yes,
BioWare
according
Montreal,
to 4 sources close to the company.
Yeah, BioWare Montreal scaled down, Mass Effect put on ice for now. In the wake of BioWare's polarizing Mass Effect Andromeda, fans have wondered where the lauded sci-fi series will go next. The answer, according to people familiar with the studio, is nowhere, at least for the time being. Jesus, that's harsh.
Yeah, that's.
Wait, hey, what's the next of this game?
Tracks.
He's fucking going nowhere. The fucking brakes are locked hard on this fucking train.
Yep.
There ain't no hype. The Andromeda. I mean, I never played the Mass Effect series. I know it's been mentioned before, and a lot of people are like,
I did. I'm a huge fan.
I can't believe you didn't play Mass Effect. It's like one of those games everyone's supposedly played. I guess I missed it when it came out, and I tried to get into it, and I don't know. It just wasn't my thing at the time. I know the storytelling has been really well done, and I know the gameplay people have always said was tight and good. But when Andromeda came out, man, I thought it was a joke. When I saw the early release stuff, like the EA Play or the what's that in Origins, the people that get the game like 10 hours early or 10 hours early. When I I thought it was a fucking joke. Like, I thought someone found like some fucking crap game files from some indie developer that was trying to make this third-person shooter, and I'm like, or someone manipulated the video somehow, and I'm like, what is this train wreck gonna have? I couldn't believe it was Mass Effect. I thought it was a joke. I'm like, this is bad. Yeah. And we talked about it on a few podcasts ago, just how bad the fucking thing was. So, I mean, that's pretty bad that the game comes out as a massive flop. And I know they did put out a massive patch and basically rewrote a lot of the code and fixed a lot of the game. But, I mean, pretty bad that when the game comes out that's been anticipated for years, that it basically fucking train wrecks the series and the studio that developed it. Like, that's some poor fucking management.
Yes.
So it doesn't say that. It doesn't mean there will never be another Mass Effect, it says. And of course, it's unlikely that BioWare will kill the popular sci-fi franchise. But BioWare is letting Mass Effect sit for a while rather than putting staff on Andromeda follow-up right away. those sources said, the air quotes, because there's no officially named people. It says last month the number of BioWare Montreal employees were transferred to Studio EA Motive, all based in Montreal, to work on Star Wars Battlefront 2. Those remaining at BioWare Montreal will help support BioWare's other games, including the new intellectual property codenamed Dylan, which were expected to come announced at E3. BioWare Montreal will continue to patch and support Andromeda's multiplayer. So they're not abandoning the series, but and even the game. They're still working to improve the game, but yeah, it's damn. That's pretty bad.
It seems like the motivation has stalled more than anything.
Well, I mean, to release the title the way it released, someone should have been fucking fired. But I mean, when you, like I said, Ubisoft has been known. We're not just Ubisoft, but I know Ubisoft's been known to release a broken game and fix it. And I mean, yes, they've done that with Andromeda, but I think the biggest fact was how well those other games, when they released, how good they were. And this being released as a complete utter fucking train wreck, I think that's what fucked them. If it had been, other releases had been a little unstable, and this one here released and was a little unstable, like it's typical BioWare, it's typical Mass Effect, not a big deal. But for them to go from this is a pristine game, or pretty much pristine game, to this flaming pile of dog shit, like I don't know. I mean, that definitely, like I said, there's definitely some poor management. I know there was some infighting in the company, and I knew a few people left, and there was some drama, and that's it sucks for the fans of the series. I mean, to me, I don't, it doesn't bother me on a personal level, but for people that were, sitting back and, with their cash in hand waiting to slap it down to buy Andromeda and be handed this,
I was one of those people. I was really, really hopeful. The first teasers and trailer and footage that we saw, they all seemed very interesting. It looked good, and yeah, everything seemed good. And then all of a sudden, like you said, the EA Play, the early access or whatever it was, started coming out, and it was like some people's reaction was, this is alpha or beta footage, and it'll get fixed. No, it was it was the full game.
Yeah.
Just released a little early for some people, and it's actually that bad, and that really turned me off enough to where I actually didn't buy it.
Yeah. I know one of the buddies on my friends list was playing it, and I was actually going to message him and ask him what his opinion on it was, but I just figured, well, I didn't want to kick the beehive, so he might have bought it and be kind of just, I'm playing it because I bought it type deal, and I didn't want to piss him off, so I didn't bother asking. But there was enough people on the internet that were burning down Andromeda that I didn't need to ask one of my buddies how he felt about it.
Yeah, it's true.
So like I said, I mean, for them to take people from BioWare and move them into another EA company to work on not even their own title, at least people didn't lose their jobs. I mean, that's the saving thing, is like, okay, some of those people were taken and moved from BioWare into EA Motive to work on some stuff for Star Wars Battlefront, which is a DICE game.
Yep.
So at least those people didn't lose their jobs. Hope those aren't the people that done the dialogue or the visual effects. We could be in trouble.
Yeah, Battlefront's going to be in for a rocky release then.
It's going to be a train wreck on fire.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
All right, so speaking of Battlefront, moving on to one of our last couple topics here. We saved the meat of the podcast for the last part. I can't even say it like just in a straight. I'll try. Okay, so EA says Battlefront 2 will have 3 times more content at launch than the previous game.
Well, that's not hard.
It's not, but the part that just makes me mad, just immediately, just headline headaches, is 3 times more content. What does that mean? Does it have 3 times more classes, 3 times more weapons, 3 times more maps, 3 times more modes? To say 3 times more content, you got to figure that it's going to release with something like, I don't know, between 8 and 12 maps. That's pretty standard. Certainly not 3 times more. It's probably going to release with a dozen, maybe up to 2 dozen different weapons, which, again, is pretty standard. That's definitely not 3 times more. It had actually a decent amount of customization for different characters and different variations of them. Now, I'm not going to say that it was an extremely in-depth customization pool, but they had a lot of different options and variants. And most of them didn't do too much. It was add a beard or make this guy bald or wear this helmet, but there was
Yeah.
still a decent amount. At least at face value. So to say that they have 3 times more
That's
content,
don't
they're
interrupt
not.
you, but that's funny. You said you could put a beard on them or change the hair, and that was
Yeah.
at face value.
Yeah. No. Well, no pun intended. I stumbled right over that without meaning to.
You fucking dad joked yourself. That was funny.
I know, but it just went over my head too. I recently cut my hair, so it goes right over now. I have nothing to catch it.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
No, so I mean, I don't know. Just to throw a number out like 3 times more, to me, is a meaningless boast. And if it's not backed by the first game had 8 maps, and this will have 24, which is your basic arithmetic saying this is 3 times more, unless they come out and give me those numbers, then I'm not believing it. It seems just like an empty boast to inspire confidence in them, and to say, oh, this is going to be better.
Well, I mean, definitely they need to.
Which,
brag
yes,
up
they
content
need to,
because
but
that's what hurt Battlefront. I mean, it was an
Yes.
awesome game, sounded good, looked good, played good.
Yeah.
But there was nothing to play. And then,
Yep.
like I said, we mentioned before, and in other articles, and a lot of the people have mentioned it before. Once they finally released everything, there's a shitload of content, shitload of everything. There's lots of stuff to do. But yeah, now it's like, what are they going to do with this? Are they going to give us a whole bunch of shit off the bat, and then all the DLC is going to be like fucking sparse? Like, that's another thing to worry about too. I mean, yeah, okay, you get the core game, but then is it just going to be basically what Battlefront finished as, and that's all we're going to get? Like, they're not giving us a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't want a whole bunch of fucking paid DLC. I wish the hell they'd find a way to get rid of that.
Right.
But it says here, Star Wars Battlefront 2 will have more than 3 times the content was the previous game at launch. He said, with brand new story, a new single player campaign, new modes, characters, vehicles, and planets from all eras in the Star Wars universe. So right there, they're saying 3 times more content, and they're talking
Right.
overall. They're not talking an individual. So yeah, the title's
Right.
it's a little like, yeah, it's boastful. It's like just trying to kind of hype it up. But I
Yeah.
mean, whenever they go in and they say, well, we didn't have a single player campaign in Battlefront.
Okay. Well, here out of the things that just listed, and this is a quote from EA's CEO Andrew Wilson about it having a brand new story, a new single player campaign, new modes, characters, vehicles, and plans from all eras. I will strike off some of these immediately because it's a different game. So, brand new story, done. That's a given. Take it out of the context. Don't even count it. A single player campaign, that is new. I will give them that. That's
Right.
new, and that's expanding the game more than what it was. Now, to give an arbitrary number of 2 or 3 or 23 times, you can't really do that. It has a single player campaign, and that is an addition. That is a plus. I'll confirm that, but I'm not going to multiply the content based on a single player campaign. It says new modes. Well, you can be damn sure that it's going to have a deathmatch, that it's going to have some type of capture the flag, that it's going to have some type of conquest-like system, that it's going to have some type of space battle system.
Right.
So what new modes could we possibly be seeing? I doubt that they're going to break ground and have a revolutionary new mode that nobody has ever talked about or thought of before in a shooter. I don't see that happening.
I don't either.
No. So when they say new modes, I don't think so. I'm going to scratch that off.
They're just taking modes that we've had in other games are now going to be available in this game. So
Yeah.
right. I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying. It's a different game and it's being added stuff. Right, 3 times the content. Well, I get where you're coming from, but I also get where they're coming from too. I'm not going to play devil's advocate too hard here because I'm still sour over Battlefront originally.
I'm very sour.
Yeah.
You can probably tell.
Yeah, I mean, EA at DICE and Battlefield and Battlefront are kind of, they should be. We should be sitting here and we should be happy every time, or not as angry at them. But every time we talk about them, it's we negative. I mean, we got another Battlefield topic to talk about next, and
Yeah.
we talked a little pre-podcast, the two of us, and it was like we need to go down to DICE and slap them in the fucking face. Like,
Well, the problem is because they make good games. They do.
yep, they do.
But the problem is that they just don't implement it in a way that's fully satisfying. Is that they give us a tease, they give us a taste of what could be this grand, just amazingly theatrical and stylistic, beautiful experience. whether it be Battlefield, like Battlefield 1 and Battlefront. They were both gorgeous, unbelievably, like, sound design was fantastic. It was incredible to behold on a theatric stylistic scale. But when you played it, there just wasn't much to do. You can only look at something pretty for so long, but if you interact with it and the interactions are not satisfying, then you don't have a game.
That's true.
It's the frustration of knowing that these products, both of these IPs, had the potential to be grand, to be big, sweeping games and just monumental achievements, and they are not. And that's the frustration and that's the anger that I have.
Oh, and I do too. Like there's like so much potential, and they just like half-ass it to a point. I mean, like visually and like sound design and stuff like that. The games are just fucking masterpieces, but it's the rest where it's lacking. They almost need someone to step in and say, "All right, we'll take all this pretty, but we're going to give it some fucking substance." Yeah. And if they can, well, like you said, Battlefield 3. If they can blend that kind of, it's even Battlefield 4 now that it's been fixed, now that it's a better game. And even, like I said, I never really played much of Hardline, but people say it got a lot better. So they made improvements. They've done stuff Battlefield 3 was an awesome game. Battlefield 4, once they fixed it, finally got better, but it was just a sour taste. I couldn't play it. They need to kind of go back, and I think them trying to go to World War One with Battlefield, it kind of pigeonholed them a little bit, because without them having the modern style weapons and gadgets to use, they were kind of handcuffed to what they could do, weapons and attachments, because there was a lot of improvisation that came through from soldiers creating their own stuff and making stuff work in the trenches because of necessity. You can't really incorporate a lot of that into a video game, especially when you're not, when you're talking to like a first-person shooter. But for them to take, all the pretty and not give us substance is where they fail, and they need to find someone to kick them in the ass to finally get this done right. And I mean, there's a quote here from EA's CEO. It says, regarding live services and DLC, you'll see some changes to our approach, particularly with the Battlefield and Battlefront over time, to make those DLCs less important because it's an ongoing content that's being delivered. So are they going to start giving us the big meat of the game at the launch? Are we going to get a lot more stuff for our first initial $60-$80, depending on what country you live in? And then the DLC is going to be smaller increments of content where it's not as expensive? Like, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Like, that's the same thing with the upcoming. I mean, we can almost, I don't know, start talking about the Battlefield 1. It's because they say EA's Battlefield experience coming. Battlefield 1 gets lots of content, not just for DLC owners. So they're throwing out all this talk and about change, but they're not giving us any information.
Yeah, but you know what? Talk is cheap, motherfucker.
Yeah, that it is. I mean, you can have interviews and just kind of blurt out some keywords, and someone will make an article, and then someone like us will podcast about it.
To get back to a little bit of the specifics, Battlefront launched with 13 total maps across 4 planets, 11 weapons, which is, God, that's piss poor to see that low number. 10 vehicles and 6 heroes. So this article, which we'll of course link in the description, even says how they came up with the 3 times number is uncertain, so it's not quite clear how many maps, weapons, vehicles, etc. But it's, again, 13 total maps. It's definitely not going to have 39 maps, I can tell you that. 33 weapons, that could possibly be somewhere up there, sure.
Yep.
10 vehicles in the first one. I doubt we're going to see 30 vehicles.
No.
I doubt we're going to see 18 heroes. So, yeah, I mean, them putting a specific number on there that I think is clearly unrealistic and also somewhat undefinable. I don't know. Just kind of smacks the divisive response to the original Battlefront game. You know, it's a confidence that I don't feel like they've earned.
No, not throwing it just to 3 times more content at launch than previous game. Like, well, that wouldn't be hard to do if you
Yeah,
talk about one specific thing.
yeah,
I mean, 3 times. Well, okay, if you say weapons, they could do that, but then that'll fall into the pigeonhole we stuck with. Is it just going to be the variants of the same fucking
yep,
weapon? Like that's the pigeonhole they put themselves in. And I mean, in the Star Wars universe, how many actual fucking guns were there in the universe? I mean, if I mean, I might irritate somebody, but like if you talk about all the lore from all the different Star Wars, there's probably not 42 fucking different weapons like guns. You know,
at least not that we've seen in the
not
mainstream.
not
Probably in the novels. Yeah.
right. Like there's probably there. So they're gonna pull from that to give us the 3 times because that's what it is. So them boasting an amount is kind of wrong. They should have been. They wanted to put a number to hype it up, but I think they should have been a little more conservative with how they're talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to word it.
It's just it sounds good. It's what I want to hear, and it's what is needed, but I don't trust them.
Yeah,
I think that's just what it comes down to.
yeah. It says here we sold 14 million units of Battlefield 1 in the year it was shipped and built into our guidance for Battlefront 2 is essentially the same number. So they're hoping to at least sell the same amount. Well, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of skeptical people because a lot of people got burnt buying Battlefront 1, and unfortunately I was one of them. And they're talking about some other games like fiscal year in 2019. They're getting some other stuff and Visceral's upcoming Star Wars action adventure game. So they're milking this Star Wars series. Respawn's even doing a fucking Star Wars game.
Yep.
Like holy crap! Like this is they really got their claws dug into
Star Wars is bigger than ever, and generally for me that's a fantastic thing.
Right, I'm a fan as well. I mean, I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I'm just wondering if, I mean, it's all EA, and I know it's different companies, DICE, Visceral, Respawn. They're all under the EA banner. It's not all the same company. The games aren't going to be the same. I'm just wondering if they're going to try to spread themselves thin on this content, shoving out 4 titles within 5 years.
Maybe.
I don't know.
We'll see. Maybe between all those, we'll have enough content to be satisfied.
Look, oh yeah, buy 5 games to make up. That's EA. That's EA. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, maybe that's their math. 3 times more content at launch. They I don't know.
They're talking over the
over
3
5
fiscal
years.
Over the 3 fiscal years they just mentioned. Yeah, that's it. 17, 18, and 19. Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe we're being unfair, but I don't feel like it. I don't know.
Like we keep saying, E3's around the corner. Well, I imagine we'll get force fed quite a bit.
Yeah. I will be 3 times as likely to not buy this on release. How about that? I will wait.
It's gonna take a hell of a EA sale, like how I bought Battlefield 1. It was an EA pre-order sale. So if Amazon does another one of those, I'll buy it at a discounted price.
I want some
and just
confirmed.
Not open the damn game until after I hear it said he could, and if it's no good, I'll send it back.
I just want some confirmed, solid information from these guys. I don't want boasting. I don't want expected sales figures. I want them to say, we heard your complaints. We realized that we messed up, and this is how we're going to fix it. We're going to put this in the game, and this in the game, and this in the game. I want some final release details. And now I'm aware that right now that's asking for too much. The game is still months away.
Yeah, exactly. It's November.
I don't want to see confident boasting like this. Again, I don't feel like they've earned it. I feel like they did wrong by the community with Battlefront. They really, really did, especially because Battlefront is not a new IP. It's a very, very beloved franchise that we haven't seen in a long time that they brought back and really, really they did shame to.
Yeah. Well, content-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it did. You played it. It did sound like you were actually in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah,
they done an amazing job there. But yeah, the content was the fuck that we got.
Yep. All right, let's move on to our last one. We're gonna talk some Battlefield 1. I guess we're gonna stay angry.
Yeah.
Panther. Talk us through.
We're gonna end this on a sour note. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier in the rant about Battlefront, is that EA's Battlefield experience is coming. Battlefield 1 gets lots of new content, not just for DLC owners. So right off the bat, as someone who bought Premium, So this is fair. I already give you like the fucking money for the game, and then I give you the money for the DLC, but you're gonna give a lot of content for free. Why did I have to pay for it?
Yeah, I was gonna say the problem now is that we are now 7 months out from release. They got premium owners very early on, same way they did with Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. Even some people, the people that fell for the joke that was hardline, there was a pass for that as well. That's kind of just the way of the market now, is that there's a pass for almost everything. And Panther and myself both bought into premium. And now, as this game's life cycle is continuing, it feels like that's becoming much, much less of a wise investment.
Yeah, it's like I said. I got the game discounted for the regular price. And Canada games are 80 fucking bucks. I got it for 50. It was 53 and change Canadian on the E3 pre-order sale. So I mean, like I said, I did save myself money there when I bought the original game for Battlefield 1. So I mean, like I didn't pay the full 80 and then another 50 or whatever it was for premium. I'm gonna get back in the game. I gotta get back in the game. I gotta get some play out of it. It's too much money sitting idle on my desk. But yeah, I'm kind of like, well, I kind of get there what they've done with the premium friends, where we mentioned it before, where if you have premium and you start a party, your friends can join if they don't have premium play. They can't access the weapons. They don't get XP or anything like that, which we mentioned XP doesn't mean a lot once you're level 10, pretty much.
Yep.
Because it doesn't unlock weapons. So it's their progression system's a piece of trash.
Meaningless.
Yeah. So I mean, okay, you don't get the XP, which who cares if you're already level 50 or whatever. You can't use the weapons. You can't spawn the tanks. But if I spawn a tank and I can get it, you can drive it. If I spawn with the weapon, if I die, you can pick up my weapon. So you can use them. But the progression unlocks. You can't work towards unlocking the weapons either. I don't think. I'd have to go back and read it. But anyways, you can play premium without paying for it. You don't get all the benefits of the premium, but you can at least play the maps, which hopefully would encourage someone to say, yeah, these maps are fun. I'm going to spend the money. At least either pick up the DLC or pick up premium to make sure you get the rest of them. So it's a smart play to try to get the community back in playing. But now they're saying they're going to come out with a bunch of more content that's going to be free. So it's like, okay.
I'm torn on this, and I'm sure you and I are probably in the same boat. To where this is a good thing for the community, a bad thing for the people that they already roped into premium.
Right. So
is their exact quote here. Let me find it. This is from the CFO, Blake Jorgensen. He says, I will say you'll also see a lot of content delivered to the broad community for Battlefield, not just for the DLC owners going forward, which I think will continue to make those numbers a little less meaningful. Talking about DLC owners.
Yeah.
So our premium pass is not going to be meaningful anymore, or less meaningful. We're going to get less value from having bought premium. This is a bad thing for those people.
I don't know if it's say really less value. It's kind of hard to say less value. You're still going to get those other maps, those guns, those things early, and without having to to buy individual maps or where the packs or whatever you want to call it. You're still getting the discount on the content that's coming. You're still guaranteed the content that's coming. Plus, you're still going to get the stuff that's free for everybody else. But yeah, it's kind of like, well, why didn't you just cut the fucking price of premium down like in fucking half or more, so more people would be inclined to buy it, and then give us a whole bunch of more free stuff, because now you'd look like a fucking king.
Yep.
Now you just look like a fucking turd to some of the premium purchasers to me. It's like, oh, we realized that everyone's pissed off about premium. Well, let's make the friends be able to play premium without paying for it. And let's start giving them more free content because people are pissed off at us. It's kind of like they've realized their mistakes and they're trying to fix them.
Yep.
But it's almost too late.
I don't know. As a premium member, I have a sour taste about this because it's like if we all bought tickets to go to an amusement park, but you and I bought like the special passes to where we could go on certain rides that not everybody else could. You know what I mean? We paid more money for a bigger, broader experience with more things. Right. And then they're like, oh, by the way, if you have any friends with you, they can come too. And I'd be like, well, fuck me, why did I...
why am I the bearer? Why do I got to bear the financial the financial burden of having the premium instead of you or one of my other friends having it where I can play the maps without... Because some people don't care about the guns. Maybe they got the Automatico and that's all they ever fucking use, or they got the Hellraiser and that's all they ever use, or whatever. So they don't care about these new guns to the point where they'd be willing to spend the money. Oh, now I can just play the maps for free. So, like I said, this season pass business model's got to go. Like, if they're gonna do this, they need to cut the price way the fuck down to encourage more people to buy it, which will keep the community together. Or they're gonna have to find a way. And I hate microtransactions, but long as they don't make it pay to win, people will spend money on shit. People buy battle packs for fuck's sakes for skins. Like, it's an addiction to some people. So there's money to be made in microtransactions. So not only do they get the game, then they get the premium, then they get the microtransactions, and also you can buy the unlock, the class unlocks. So they have, other than just the game, they have 3 other ways of making revenue.
Yep.
So what the hell? Why don't they just go to a microtransaction model where you can buy different colored helmets? I mean, I know in Battlefield 1, you're not World War I setting, you're not going to have fucking purple helmets. But why not change to a more microtransaction thing, battle packs, or something like more push towards the microtransactions, and leave the people who don't want to pay for that, let them reap the rewards of other people spending money. You know, microtransactions, I mean, a lot of people hate them, but I mean, there's people.
Well, if it'll keep a game going and keep content coming for the rest of us, then yeah, sure.
As long as it's not pay to win, I don't have a problem with microtransactions. So it's all just customizations.
If it's purely cosmetic, yeah.
Like if it's cosmetics, I got no problem with it.
I don't give a shit who the guy I'm shooting at. You know, if he's wearing a piece of cheese on his head, I don't care.
Yeah, if the guy kills me and he's got a certain skin on his gun, it's like, oh well, he's got that skin, so that's why he killed me. I don't give a shit.
No.
Like that does bother me. Other people like to have that customization, and I don't fault you. Go all the power to you if you want to do that. But yeah, I mean, as long as it doesn't break the game, give us microtransactions, and like I said, I don't have a problem paying for more content if it's going to be worthwhile, and it's not going to be oh well, down the road we realize that we charge you $60, but yeah, let's give like these extra 3 or 4 maps that we decided to build for everybody else for free, but no one's playing the fucking DLC because no one bought premium. Everyone's playing the free maps everyone got for free, so you just wasted your money.
Yep.
So, and we still don't have release dates, concrete release dates on the next the Russian pack that's coming. It's just coming soon. Well, soon is when.
And that bothers me too. That was one other thing that we talked about pre-podcast, is that one thing we haven't mentioned so far when talking about this, but Andrew Wilson, the CEO for Electronic Arts, is quoted as saying DICE is just getting started, and that EA is now aiming to unlock the, quote, competitive spirit within the community. This game is 7 months old.
You're just getting started.
And they're just getting started.
Wow. We're getting 45 maps before the end of the year then.
3 times more content.
only 2.5% more content for this.
Oh, okay.
3 times is for Battlefront. Don't get them confused.
Battlefront gets more. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No, it pisses me off, that they release a game and the major complaint is that there's not enough here. We know that there's a plan for DLC. You and I, among hundreds of thousands of other people, bought into the program, confirming that we are going to get and play this DLC. But 7 months down the road, 7 months, and we still don't have the complete game. Like, I don't know. I feel like the life cycle on this is just artificially bloated. It's like there's no need to expand. I don't necessarily want to be playing Battlefield 1 for 3 years in order to have the full complete experience.
Exactly.
I bought this game for $60. Not only should we make the argument that I should get a full game for the full price, if they're going to release it that way, if they're going to release, so much content to where there's 4 giant expansion packs that are going to be just as big as the base game or whatever the case may be, then the base game should be $20 in itself.
Exactly.
And for each more DLC, if you want to charge $15 or whatever, you know what? I wouldn't bitch about that. but don't release what is quote unquote a full game, and then 7 months later, in the middle of the DLC releases, say that you're just getting started with this game. You know what? Fuck you, Andrew Wilson.
Yeah. Suck a big fat one, you bitch.
It's just, God, the fucking EA and
quotes,
DICE and whoever these people are.
They're throwing out these terms and these fluff words and the hype, oh, we're just getting started. Yeah, we're got all this content. You're going to love a competitive spirit.
No,
like,
we should be
talking
finishing up.
This should have been the talk of fucking launch day, man. This is the launch of the game. We're just getting started. We're going to blow your fucking socks off come December, December 15th. We got more maps. Or coming January 13th, we're going to shove more fucking maps down your throat and need more tanks. And blow us away within 1 to 2 months. Don't wait fucking 7 months to say, guess what?
At 7 months, there should be no, to me at least, as a player, as a gamer, 7 months after I buy a game, I want all of it to have been released already. There's no reason to wait. It's going to be well over a year before we get all this content.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too. Is there's so many games out now. There's so many games released all the time, and people have limited time. I mean, I work, you get kids. You have a kid. Not everyone has time to sit down in front of their console and play 12 hours a day, 5-6 days a week. We're not all YouTubers. We all don't get paid to play video games. So I mean, to give you a title and expect people to stay engaged and play on a regular enough basis to keep the servers full, and 7 months and only get one DLC so far and no confirmed dates on the rest of it. Like, that's risky. Like, they're looking like, I mean, it's like, wow, like, well, that's why they're just getting started, because they've been on fucking vacation apparently for the last 5 months.
Well, and here's the thing too. If we have a timeline to go by on when they're going to release it, we're at 7 months and we've only got one DLC and we don't know when the second one's coming out. So if we just, even at face value, say every 7 months we're going to get DLC, you're looking at over 2 years.
Yeah. Well, they don't have a Battlefield game coming out this year, right? And they've never done a year release. So I if they want to space the content out, give us the paid DLC a little quicker in succession, and then worry about the community.
Do the free stuff later.
Yeah, like, oh well, we noticed our content's is all there, but we noticed our fan base is lacking. Well, here's some free maps. Here's a few free guns or whatever. Do that then. Like, don't wait 7 months and say, oh well, you've paid double for the game. Here's one DLC, and we're not going to tell you when the rest of the DLC is coming. Yeah. Just flip a coin and look at the calendar.
We paid, you and I and many other people, we paid for 2 games when we bought this. We paid for this and then the price of another game to get the premium pass to get all the DLC, because we knew, we were excited, and we knew that this was going to be a great game and that the DLC was going to be worth it based on the past releases. Yep. Battlefield 3 had great DLC. Battlefield 4 had some awesome DLC. Not as great as Battlefield 3, but I mean, that's neither here nor there. You can't always go up.
Right.
Battlefield 4 was still a great game. So you and I were banking on, we love Battlefield as a franchise. They have historically done very well with us with DLC and the premium. As much as we don't like to bite the bullet and pay that much money, it's been worth it in the end. And I'm seriously regretting it, buying it for this one.
Yep.
Like, I know I want to play each DLC, but God, this business model, like you said, it's just got to go, man.
Yeah.
We paid for 2 games, and 7 months later, we still don't have one complete game.
Exactly. So
it's just unreal.
Yeah, they need to fix this business model. And like I said, another game. We're not going to extend this much longer. We're getting close to wrapping it up. I bought the DLC, and now I have to go and I have to work on these assignments to even get the guns that I already fucking paid for. That irritates me too. That's a whole other fucking kettle of fish. So we're not going to get into that right now. But they need to change that model as well to a point to make it a more level playing field for everybody. Because certain people are a lot better at this game than others, and people have a lot more time to put into than others. So they get these new guns right off the bat, or a lot easier than other people. So then you're left behind like a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I mean, for me, how many weeks has this game, the DLC, been out? I haven't even come close to unlocking any of the guns. I just haven't the time, and I play other games. So I paid for the game. Paid for the content. Give me my fucking guns. So they need to figure out how to fix that. I like a little bit of challenge, but give me something. Yeah, like make
the
it.
challenge in a similar way to the medals, it should be organic to a natural play style.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that you have to do a backflip, you have to jack off Jill while shooting a pigeon in the eye, and whatever game mode. It's just it's bullshit challenges the same way that the medals have been crap.
Yeah.
And the progression just doesn't make sense. And yeah, that we paid for DLC, we paid for this content, but they hide it behind these challenges that for some people are just unachievable, either for skill or for time.
Exactly.
And it's just a really awful way to do it.
Yeah. Like I said, they need to. I mean, if they're going to change things, and they've realized their mistakes, I'll be behind them if they make changes to improve stuff. I'm not going to give up on them right away. I mean, I bailed on Battlefield 4, and I went back and played quite a bit of it, and then I finally, I was moving on to other things, and then I'm back at Battlefield, and we're kind of back to the same thing. Like, stop fucking me in the ass.
So,
I
guess we will end on a sour note.
Yeah, a little bit of a sour note to our 2-player co-op here.
Yeah, well, I don't feel like it's our fault.
No, it's not. It's not our fault.
Our two negative topics are EA and DICE.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but they're just not doing us very well lately.
Stop making it pretty.
Well, no, don't stop making it pretty.
Yeah,
but make it better.
Yeah, make it better. make Battlefield great again.
Oh God, I don't want to even get close to the slogan.
Make it awesome.
Let's make some great games with plenty of content and value.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it simple and just do it right. That's it. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Give me value for the money. I don't want to pay $120 for Battlefield 1 and Premium, and 7 months later still not have anywhere close to a complete game.
Exactly.
That's, to me, not acceptable. I don't want Battlefront 2 to come out and for them to have said 3 times more content, but they have the exact same number of maps. They have a couple more guns, a couple more weapons, and
it's gonna be 3. It's gonna be
stuff.
3 times overall, and they're like I said, they're the addition of the single player content and the campaign is where they're getting their inflated numbers.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all this will be linked in. All this will be linked in the description if you go on to read these lovely articles. And
and you should. I think every article that we've talked about, I think, has been interesting, and there's plenty of information.
Oh yeah, like read up and like it leaves comments. Like comment on what you read, what you see. If you see something we missed, definitely check in the comments
or tweet us.
Tweet
us at 4-Player Co-op Live. Let us know.
And in the description, I link all our Twitters as well. If you want to tweet individually to either one of us, they're all linked in there. I know. Doing work, he stated to us that he doesn't do a lot on Twitter, so you can ignore him.
He doesn't play with his Twitter as much as us other boys do.
With his Twitter, and I mean, like I said, I'm trying to juggle a couple Twitter accounts and do the podcast work because it's taking a little time. We're getting there. I'm gonna try to do a lot more tweeting out of some little tidbits of information for for upcoming podcasts and stuff. So if you feel free to PM me on that one or even my personal one. Drop a comment in YouTube video is probably the easiest way to get one of us to respond right now until we get the flow of the Twitter thing going.
I don't know. For me, I got Twitter notifications down. I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm
ready to go.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hit us up any way you like. Mail us a fucking letter if you want my address. PM me. If you want to write me a fucking letter, you can mail me one.
Send a war pigeon.
Yeah. Send a war pigeon. Someone will shoot it down.
Yeah, probably doing work.
Probably.
All right, guys. Well, it's been a good podcast. This is a 2-player co-op, I guess. Again, this is not going to be every single week necessarily. Just when some of us, not necessarily even just Panther and myself, but when some of us have the extra time, if we've got enough news to do a podcast in between our normal 2-week cycle, then we'll get that out for you and talk about some new stuff. And as we just said and kind of joked about, let us know on Twitter, on YouTube, SoundCloud, wherever you guys find us or listen to us. Talk to us, and we'll talk back. I feel like we would all be happier if we got some community interaction. I think that's only going to make it more fun for us.
Oh yeah,
so,
fun for everybody.
If you guys have even just nothing to add, just hey, you suck. It'll be fun to talk about that. for a little bit for us. So. Let us know what you guys think, any comments, anything we missed. And, of course, as always, thank you guys so much for listening. And we'll see you next time on our regular episode of the 4-Player Co-op podcast. So thank you guys again, and take care. See ya.
Yeah, later.